Ladies and gentlemen of the fine print, it is Zaya Wapo, and tonight I have a very, very special guest. This guy is the hardest, and I mean it, the hardest working man in the E-Fed world. I mean, probably next to Matt T, because Matt T's everywhere, but this guy right here does it all. It's none other than Dr. Quack.
Hey,
What's going on, Dr. Quack?
Hey,
How you doing today?
How we doing?
Hey, listen, it's hard to get a hold of you, man, because you're a busy, busy man, but I do appreciate the time. So, how you doing? How you doing with this whole E-Fed world?
Just steady busy. I mean, I've got the whole thing between, running HSP and, doing the Promo Observer, covering a lot of the other feds out there, watching a lot of the talent go out there and compete, just always staying busy.
Oh yeah, you're always busy. I mean, it's whether you're covering WGP like you said, or you're on SME trying to get Matt T some views. But I mean, it's hard to be there for 4 hours. I understand that, but I mean, to each its own. But Quack, man, I mean, you went a long way. It's a whole year had flip flop. We went from having the trending cancel Quack to being one of the most lovable men here on the E-Fed world. I mean, how did that go? How did that happen? Like, first of all, I want to touch up a little bit. I know it's a lot of all, but what was all the animosity? Why all that happened to begin with?
Well, try to put this as simplest as I can. Basically, we had a big conflict. Myself and Hollywood Haywood, we had a conflict over some things. He was not very happy on some stuff that happened as far as a show we did together. We were doing the Heart and Soul Sports Show. Me, him, and Mr. Wallace. A company we were working for, Hero Go TV, was supposed to give us some money. Then they did some of it, but they owed us a good bit. And I understood, he was upset with it. He wanted his money. I get it. I wanted my money,
Right.
Wasn't charging very much on it, but it was a separate project. And, he got upset with it, and took it out here to the promo world. And I just looked at it like I can't let this hurt HSP. That's the way I looked at it a lot. So, proverbially, I fell on the sword, I guess. I said, you know what? I'm going to bail out of this. And in some respects, and I've told this to Hollywood, I was like, that might be the greatest thing for me. Because that was 9 months where I didn't have to do a lot. Like, I could do what I wanted. Like, during that time frame, I was doing interviews with people, with promo artists, with professional wrestlers, with actors, various things like that. Plus building up the house calls page. It was when I started, what was it? Not this past September, but the September before, I was only at 1,100 people. 1,100 people were following, and now I believe it's close to 73. It's around there.
In a year's time.
In about a year and a half. Yeah, it's been about a year and a half.
That's quite a feat. I mean, a lot of people can't even get over 30 subscriptions, mine myself included. I don't know why. People watch my stuff, but everybody gets afraid to hit the thumb up or something. I don't know what it is, but you're really doing good in that aspect in that world. And it did. I mean, I think it did help you out because from you being trending to being the world's hatest promo owner to one of the best analysts, one of the best, person to be, take advice from. I think that may have helped your career a little bit. What would you say so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not offended by cash, just to let you know. So that's okay. But I appreciate the compliments and everything on that. I really enjoy what I do now. I really do. When it comes to the Promo Observer, I get to work with Bones and A-List Alverson and Bobby Iceman. I get to work with those three when we talk about the head-to-head competition between those two. But, it's like now I've kind of branched out a little bit on my own. Like I've been covering Defiance and the SME and PDA, doing a little bit of that. Just it's been enjoyable. Like I'm glad because I've had some people actually come to me and they're like, thankful that I'm pointing out this stuff because they're seeing it. I'm seeing it in a lot of them. They're realizing they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. And they're not doing that as much, or they're trying something new and they're doing better. Like just the growth in the promo world is amazing.
It is, and the change. I mean, it seems like the promo unity is it's nobody like you have said plenty of times, and I've heard other people say it. Nobody would ever say and think it was true that we all would come together and become one. I mean, we do have our little problems here and there of, of course, you got promo artists and, getting at each other's throats, but it's better than owners getting at each other's throats, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the wars in the promo world, it has to be like put in a documentary somewhere over the last like 4 or 5 years. Probably even longer for some. But I mean, there was times where I had problems working with people. Like there was hatred. There was, I don't know, professional animosity, as I'll call it. I don't think it was a lot of personal, but for the most part, that's what it was. And you had to sit down. You actually have to talk to people, iron things out. I mean, for a long time, my greatest adversary, and I've said this many times, my greatest adversary was TDC over in Revolution. I mean, when he would put on a show, I would watch because I wanted to watch. I didn't just want to watch it like after it recorded. I wanted to watch it live because a lot of things, was being done. There was a lot of great promo artists. I was like, man, this is awesome. But, I mean, we had our falling out way back when. And now, me and him have talked, and now he's competing over in HSP a little bit, and he's also running PDA. I'm doing a little bit of stuff there myself. It's awesome. I mean, with that, Tomstradamus, I mean, we've had our run-ins, and, everything got fixed, with conversation. And that's the big thing I will tell people. You have to have a conversation to iron things out. Sometimes you can't. I mean, there's certain people in the promo world that still can't. But a lot of us, yeah, we can do that.
And like I said, like you said with TDC being your biggest adversary, it's just crazy, but it's great how two people that had that big spiteful hate for each other could come together. Now with a game like this, I don't see why people have that animosity, what they have to win or lose. Why do people hate each other? I'm thinking it's because the competitive nature of the sport, but to me, I think it's just a waste of time, energy. Everybody competes with everybody anyway, so I don't see why that whole thing is, conspired.
And that's something like, okay, the year I was out, like the 9 months I was away, not running a Fed, that's something I noticed. There was a lot of people that were promo in multiple groups. They were all over, right? It was like you would see the same matchups in some respects in one league, and then in the same league, and in the same league. Sometimes you would see that 3 times a week in 3 different Feds, and this is part of booking. This is why when I'm watching other Feds, I'm like, okay, say for example, they got Rig taking on Johnny Blade, right?
Right.
I don't want to book that match in the same week, right? I don't want to book that almost in the same month because people have seen it. There's sometimes you have to. Like sometimes you get where it's a number one contendership match. These two guys have earned their right. They're fighting there. It happens, but it's something that you really try to prevent. That's what makes shows special when you're seeing, the big matchups. Like let's take Foundation. You got to see the big matchup on Hope. You got to see the Iceman Bobby Miller. You got to see Don Krypton and JD Ace all go at it. That was a major match. That's something that you're not going to see in every, federation.
And yeah, like I said, some places it's special to get than other places, but that's what's good about promo unity. You know what I mean? You could one match you would have a dream match that you would never thought you'd see, because now they step out of their comfort zone. A big thing is BWO. BWO is fairly new to a lot of the EFED world. I mean, even though they've been stepped out for about 1.5 years, 2 years, but you have people like, Bobby Miller, you have people like Vagabond that was actually around, the whole spectrum, but they didn't represent BWO as much as they represent now. But then you got people like Jay the Ace that you haven't seen, people like Lifeless that are very talented, that are coming out there that you would never thought would come out because of the simple fact of exclusivity or hatred towards one another. But I think this whole thing that's going on now with the whole crossovers and stuff like that, like that big show you got coming, the Champion Showcase, that's amazing. I mean, to hold something that big for a 2-night spectacle, I mean, that's like promo WrestleMania. I mean, everybody has their own WrestleMania, but this one is a big thing.
I mean, I'll tell you, with BWO, I've been watching them for many years. Like the first couple of people that I discovered from BWO, they came over to HSP, and that was Mr. Wallace and the Young Gun. Like those two, they came together. You know, they had Era of Reality. You know, that was a big faction over there with the BWO. They were one of the few teams, Mad King as well in there, one of the few teams that would actually make me interested to watch, because vignette tag team wrestling is not exactly the easiest. I would say probably about 20% do it really good. And it's like, oh man, I want to see this. You know, a lot of people I think have a lot of issues doing it. It's a lot of like, here, you talked and I talked and you talked and I talked. It's a lot of that clips in there, and you have to make it interesting. Like you have to feed off each other. I mean, there's some tag teams out there that can do it, but BWO, yeah, I've been watching them quite long, man. Just a long time. Seen a lot of people, and I'm glad to see people from BWO coming out to other places. I think that's really awesome to see. You know, seeing them compete.
Right, just like who would have thought? Bobby Miller and me, the cold-hearted cartels, are, you know, who would have thought that we were a team that you didn't need? You know what I mean? But I understand what you're saying about that whole tag team, you know, chemistry. And it's hard to get on the same page and do it well. Speaking about doing it well, I consider, you know, HSP is a special kind of thing, a promotion, and I say that because you got a lot of people on that roster that anywhere else they go, they're not stars like there, because you, like, I think your league, you put them over so well. You know, like it makes it so fun, because every time you come out there, you're in the locker room and you're like, oh man, this match is a must watch. But if you go, let's say, for instance, and I'm not saying it to downplay anybody or downplay anybody's skill or talent, but let's say you have a Joey D versus AEP, right? In another place where they're considered, you know, not that good, which I think they got really good compared to they used to be, but you put it over like it's a main event, you know, and you make it must watch, no matter what the card is, you know, and I think that's
you gotta have fun when you do this stuff, man. You do it, and that would be a wild match. See, Joey D, I mean, he's an EWN Hall of Famer. He's been doing this game a while. Two different styles there. AEP could come out with some wild shit. Let me tell you, AEP he is bizarre as fuck. And it's like, for some people, it's like a car wreck. Like when you're driving by, you see that car, you can't turn your head. You got to see what the fuck he's going to do, because it's like, damn.
Right.
And he'll sneak up on a motherfucker and win some matches. He will. He does not, you know. I remember the match with him and Vagabond. That's one I point out a lot, because he took his gimmick. He stole his gimmick where he was doing the whole graphic over there and did it on himself. And that, it was like, damn, that's a stolen finisher. Like, you know, you don't see that very often. And he ended up winning that match, you know. But Joey D, another guy, he's more slow, methodical. It's like his kind of pacing. He wants to tell a story. I mean, that's two different styles. And I believe in putting things over. Like, if you're not interested in what you're doing, if you're just like, here, I'm slapping on a camera, I'm going to cut a hype, I'm going to say some shit, and I'm going to walk off here and not give a damn, it's going to show. You have to have the emotional effect in the promo.
Oh, not only that, like, I enjoy, you know, going over there and competing, because it seems like I said, every match got this big match, big feel. And when you have somebody in the locker room constantly be like, oh, you know, we say stirring the quack soup, because, you know, that's, you know, I like putting that little stir that pot. And if you don't stir that pot, then it's not going to be interesting. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it fun, when you can separate the reality and separate your character and just have fun with it. And I think HSP is doing really good with that. I mean, there's a lot of locker rooms that I'm in that's quiet as a church mouse. But this one, no matter who it is, it could be anybody. You know, at one time it's Candice and AEP or Soulstar and Joey. It doesn't matter. It's always something cooking over there. And you're the chef, right?
A little bit, I guess. I guess that might be what I'll call. But it's just wild. Like when you start talking narratives and you're pushing stories and things like that, you're pushing things out. Like, for example, I know Rig right now is terrified because he's worried about people cashing in. You know, those golden tickets. Like, he wants a one-on-one match. And I know he's out there going, oh, man, I hope A-List doesn't come in there. I hope Boss doesn't come in there. You know, Mr. Wallace already cashed in. It's all about, you know, making sure the audience and everybody else understands what's going on. I mean, for me, I have to know what's going on. I'm doing commentary. I'm hosting the Pulse. If I don't know what's going on, how am I going to be able to tell everybody else what's going on?
Exactly. And me, I don't have hatred for everybody, but I tell you what, I know, because like I said, in the locker room, we got this live grudge match, me and Heathen.
You
right?
and Heathen, yeah.
Yeah, we got this live. And the thing about it is I'm gonna break the fourth wall. I don't hate McGraw. I hate Heathen. Hell, Wapo hates Heathen. But me, I love the guy. He's a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's got to be. You got to know your line. A lot of people don't know that line. They're like, oh, I can't stand that guy. But that guy's playing a character. And that's one thing that I think HSP, there's a lot of people that realize that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's happening now with the world that we're in, is people are starting to realize, hey, this is not a bad person. You know what I mean? And I think your place is a, how do you say, it's a controlled mess. You know what I mean? It's a controlled mess.
It's like my trapper keeper in 5th grade. It's really messy, but I know where everything's at.
But yeah, and I see too, listen, you had caught the itch as well. You got a couple matches, you haven't promoted in what, a couple years, and then now you got matches here and there. You did your first live match. In fact, I watched it, but I didn't complete it because I watched the little thing. Who won that match? Did you win?
Yeah, I did win. I think because Jimmy Jam didn't know what to do. I think he went with Story. I don't know. He tapped out to the ankle lock, he said, and I watched it. I was like, come on, man. Look, my jaw is not made of glass. You can take some shots at me. Come on, man.
Right. Well, see, that's to me, that shows the respect that you have gotten in the promo world. Even though the simple fact is the respect you got. You know what I mean? And there's people like Jimmy Jam. See, a lot of people don't like him. I don't know why. I love the dude. I love his character. I love the way he acts. To me, I love watching everything he does. The only problem he has, like everybody says, is he talks too much. He had one of the best promos I've ever seen him do on Defiance. Yeah. And what he what he did was he killed it. But
I think if he would have done that at the end, like that, that could have been a real close vote. But I think that last piece, I was like, why are you doing this, man? Look, you don't need to break the fourth wall here. Look, we're out here all cutting promos. We know you're not out here having sex with your grandmother. We know this. Yeah. If you didn't watch that match, that's exactly what he said. That's not paraphrase.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what he said. And I'll tell you, because, that was real life beat. I mean, and that was the time where everybody real life beats. Like, there wasn't a time that me and Defiance wouldn't even, but you know what? Like I said, me and I'm gonna say Demetrius, because me and him buried the hatchet. We're good now. You know what I'm saying? There was a time I would never plug for Defiance, but you know what? Defiance is doing I like Defiance is doing a great job. Breaking the 4-4 again. I was supposed to be part of that whole plan, but at the time I wasn't ready. At the time I wasn't. Me and we didn't have the same ideas, and I'm happy for him. I'm doing my own thing here. They're doing their own thing there.
Great. I'm loving their shows. They're putting out a different style.
They're doing fantastic, and that's what we need. We need different stuff to to go around. And I like their little what is it? The pit that they're doing now.
Yeah, the promo pit.
Yeah, the promo pit's doing great. And like I said, Tonstadamus is doing great. I mean, they're great they're great on the screen. They're entertaining. We have a lot of people entertaining. WGP's doing their thing. Foundation's doing it. Everybody's doing their thing, and that's what's good. We're all helping each other out. Now, one place I'm really happy about, which is great, and I'm not saying this because I am admin there, but PDA is really kicking ass. They came.
They're doing good.
They're doing really good, and I think the whole judge system. What works about that judge system is no matter if you win or lose, you still feel like a winner because you're coming with points. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I like that aspect. But yeah, man, like I said, I wanted to interview you because you're one of the hot topics right now. And I wanted to back then anyway, but you were too busy doing other stuff. But I mean, you have, I think, the biggest turnaround in any promo sport is your story. But like I said, from being the most hated to the most loved.
I appreciate it. I mean, honestly, I can't wait till Champion Showcase, man.
I mean,
this is the 4th year of it. Last year, I was just like, because I came in late, it was like almost May. I was just like, okay, we're just going to run ours here. Like I said, not live. Everybody else can run theirs if they wanted to, but I'm just going to run ours. And I'm glad that we all can come back together. We got some new faces up in here, new promotions. Like I said, we got Defiance and PDA in there and BWO. I mean, that's awesome. WGP and Foundation, they've been a part of this before. Might be some other matches involved. We'll see what happens with all that. But it's a great thing to have a 2-day showcase of showing off the best of each company. And that's what you really want, man. I mean, I don't care about being number one when it comes to promotions. All I care about is running great shows. And that's always been my motto. That's what matters. You know, I want people to go, man, this was worth tuning into. Man, I enjoyed this. Not going, oh, fuck, I got to go see this guy take on this guy. Son of a... No, I don't want to hear all that.
Right, like consistency. That's what you want. You want consistency. Right. You want your show to be consistently good. And like I said, I haven't seen one. Well, there was an HSP show that dropped the ball, but I'm not going to say that one. But everything else was great. Every show I have no problem with. You know what I'm saying? I've seen every show. But yeah, like okay, I'm gonna bring something up because everybody like these lists. Why is everybody so like about like these lists? Like, why everybody hating on these lists? I know it's just opinion, but then there's a lot of people out there that take it to the heart.
And basically, here we go. I'm going to break the fourth wall a little bit. So, yeah, Jimmy Jam, this is for you, buddy. Okay? These lists, the Promo Observer, the Pulse, and all the shows outside of the actual show are what we like to call hype trains, right? They're basically to help continue push narratives, push stories, right? Like, if you're on that top 20 list I made, right? And let's just say, who was it? Just for example, like I put Jay Briggy at number 3, right? And you're seeing Jay the Ace and Phil Marshall at 1 and 2. Could you come out and feel like I want to cut a promo? Because, you know, Jay Briggy and Phil Marshall had a match in the SME finals. Congratulations, Phil Marshalls, by the way. But, I mean, it's just all about continuing, you know, conversations, getting debates. You know, when you have people getting attracted and stating their opinions and people debating out there, in locker rooms, on screen, whatever, that continues the narrative. That continues people watching the shows. You know, if nobody's talking about it, nobody cares. You know, and I've seen podcasts where people have covered this. Some of them have been angry towards it. Some people were mad that Johnny Rockstar was number 1. And I personally look at it like, that's cool. That's your opinion. And, you know, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. That's your opinion. You make that.
And that's the thing too, Quack. Let's be honest, Quack. We know you and we know how you are. Those lists are completely to get people riled up so they can get on your screen and say, "Fuck you, Quack. This is why I belong at number 1," because that's how it is. Which that's great. Right. I mean, that's great TV.
Like
great. That's great TV.
List. When I put them out there in HSP, I make my rankings. You know, there's somebody probably down at number 10 going, "This is bullshit. How is this guy ahead of me? I don't get this. Look, I know I'm better. I've beaten him 4 times." You know?
No, you can't do it like that. You got to do the voice. You got to be like, "Woo!"
Oh, you want the voice? Is that what you want? This fucking bullshit! I'm starting my own fan. Fuck this shit! I'm gonna be world champion for fucking 10 years. I'm fucking tired of this shit. This is so unfair. I know I'm better than him. Yes, there you go.
And I think, like I said too, I think it's more like an ego trip. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I could care less. I mean, I've been on going for 5. I'm going on 5 years right now. I've won plenty of championships. I'm playing. I'm right now. I'm where I want to put up over the new talent. I want to make this. You know, I want people to want to do this. You know what I mean? Because you want this to continue. You don't want to bury anybody. Why do you want to go and Triple H somebody or John Cena somebody? Why do you want to say, hey, you know, you want to let the other generation do better? I want to see Hector Flores. I want to see him be champion one day. You know, I want to see Johnny Canada eventually get out his hump. I want to see new talent that doesn't do this much start, you know. I want to step away eventually and just become an analyst fully. I don't really want to compete, but there's places that go, you want to compete, you know, one time, help me with this match, please. I'm like, because I not that I don't want to do it no more. It's because I'd rather have somebody in my spot taking my card, you know what I mean? And shine, you know?
you look at the evolution of things, right? You just look at, like, let's go back about almost, 2 years ago. A-List Alverson was at the top of the game, right? He was holding a lot of championships. He was always there. You look at him now, he's not doing as much, but he's still impactful. I mean,
Right.
he's now, in HSP involved in a tag team match. I mean, he just dropped the prototype title. Just dropped, held that for a long time in Foundation. I mean, he's been doing a lot without doing a lot, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense. But what I was going to tell you and ask you, that's funny, and that's what makes you a great analyst, is I was just going to mention that. I'm going to circle back around to that dropping title incident. There was other people about he could. I'd rather him, let's say, if he was thinking about dropping the title, to drop it somebody like Blunt Man or drop it somebody. I'm not saying Alpha Davis doesn't have skills to hold the title.
He's highly improved. AJ Davis, yeah, he has highly improved his game.
Yeah, but but the story that Blunt Man and him told, I would have rather it been significant.
Who does it come down to? Not me, not you. It came down to 3 judges.
Exactly. And the point I'm at,
how shocked would I see him drop that title or just toss it? I know he wouldn't throw it on anything hard. He has enough respect for championship. But just off screen, giving the illusion, I'm like, damn, is he trying to give away this title and he still won? How is this possible?
But and that's the thing. The thing about it is if I was in AJ Styles, you hear me? Alpha Davis's shoes, I'd be like, he dropped the title to me. Did I really win it? And that's what gets me is like, man,
it was a legit match, and he had a big score on it, man. I mean, he did really good.
He did good. That's one of his. That's one of my favorite promos that he's done. I think he did really good. But for A-List to drop this, it kind of overshadowed his promo. To me, as a fan, I kind of felt like it overshadowed it because that was one of his best.
It'll be interesting to see who his next opponent is.
Exactly, and I can't wait to look forward to, because now, with that being said, and I hope he watches, he's gonna be like, I gotta beat this motherfucker now to show and prove that no matter what the outcome was, I was going out there champion. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to see. I want to see him come out because, like I said, that's one of his best promos that I've seen in a long time. With him doing that. I mean, I that's my opinion. I don't know about anybody else's, but that kind of like, But I think and I don't want to give it up because I know you're observing, but what was your take on the Hope show? What was it? Was it you liked it? Was it classic? What was it? What do you think?
Oh, well, you'll get more on that with all of us later in the week. I'll just tell you'll get more on that. But I mean, it had some ups, it had some downs, it had a little bit of controversy just talking about it with my fellow promo observers. But overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It reminded me that here you go. I don't want to piss off some people with this, but the triple threat match, right? The setup and everything reminded me of WrestleMania 20. There were Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Benoit. I thought it was great build. It was a great setup. And you had Iceman Bobby Miller defending his title and retaining his title in a triple threat match. Like same thing they did with them 3 in Backlash the following show. Benoit came out with the title. Now it's going to be the question, will you see the Iceman be able to continue to hold this belt? Who's going to be his next opponent?
Right. And that's gonna be something to see. Because like I said, he went through it was JTA, right? JTA and
JTA and
Don Krypton. And they were the top contenders. Now with the trade between WGP for Bones, that's gonna be interesting, especially now Bones is not he's out of AA and he's ready to go. So Bones is the top contender.
Bones is another one. Jesus, man. Now you're getting Ultra Ego Bones. And I mean, you watched him in the last year where he was doing the Drunken Bones skits. Those were some of the greatest things that you will ever see in the promo world. But now it's back to handling business. And I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And like I said, there's a lot of interesting new stuff coming on. There's a lot of different champions. I like to see, because like right now, like me, I won the Blueprint Championship. When is it? The showcase is in June, correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah, June 27th and 26th. Yep, both those days.
Okay, the showcase in June 27th, June 26th, 27th. Now, if I want to get to the showcase, I need to defend the title and win the next 2 months, 3 months almost.
Maybe.
So it's
I
tough.
don't know. It's all dependent on the promoters. I don't know if they're going to put the Blueprint title on there. That's all in charge.
I think he will. He did. I think he did last year or the year before.
And he might.
Yeah.
I mean, all I know is the big match for Foundation, which I'm kind of excited to see, is the GOP taking on the Entourage. That's going to be an interesting fight because, I mean, you've got a lot of quality talent involved in that.
Is it for the title or is it for, do you know if it's for the title? I don't know if they
clarified. It's going to be a multi-band tag. I'm not sure how many. I don't know the whole specifics, but I know it's members of GOP taking on members of Entourage.
That's going to be good. And I think GOP is a faction, probably one of the best factions they put together. To me, that's going to be a BWO success. I liked Mayhem, but to me, I think Mayhem reminded me of NWO. It had too many people, too many people for them to, but. I mean,
it's a strong faction. There's been a lot of them throughout the years, man. Factions have been wild.
And we're doing this as a fan perspective, not as an owner or not as a analyst or promo observer, whatever. Who right now, as a fan, is your favorite promo artist to watch? I mean, I know this is going to be. I know this is your opinion, and people are gonna be like, but
you're an asshole, Quack. Fuck you. Yes.
Who do you personally find interesting? Like right now, that catches your eye.
People that just interest me, man. I mean, there's a guy like JD Ace. He is definitely one of the ones I love to watch because I think that he's just funny and comical, and yet he can put out a strong promo. Jay Briggy is another one. I love when he comes out with that brutality, when he wants to come out and hit a heavy fight, he just bam, 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 I'm going to punch you right in the
your
face.
Feelings. Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's all that, man. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there, there's the A-list of the world. TDC, when he's come out, he's only had a few matches, but every one of them is like, yeah, I'm ready to see this,
Yeah, it's been brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great promo artists out there,
and that's what's good.
The bar used to be like this. Used to be really far between the great and the okay. Now it's getting a lot closer. Like you're seeing the competitiveness come out there. Like there's guys like I'll hear from all the time from people. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, this guy sucks. He's just trash." And I'll be like, "Dude, you better not underestimate him."
And that's the thing that I think that's more of a they're psyching themselves out, making sure that they can like distance themselves from their opponent. But like you said, there's a lot of guys like when I first started, 2021ish, whatever or 20 whatever. I guys that I faced that I whooped their ass are one of the top players. Like we have Matt T, we have Bojack, we have Bluntman. When I first came in here, man. You could tell that they were new to it, or new to the art part of the thing. But now, man, now you can't sleep on anybody. And now, if you lose to anybody, it's not like, oh, you lost to him. I can't believe it. Even Johnny Rockstar's game has picked up tremendously. I was like, holy shit! He needed confidence. That's what he needed. That number one spot that everybody gave him, he needed to be like, oh, he needed that umph, and I think that helped him.
I mean, you look at guys like Kevin Wolf, man. Kevin Wolf has changed a lot. If you go look at him back, when I first got, canceled or whatever, we'll call it that. Yeah. You look at that point forward, man. He has definitely grown. He has done an incredible job. He's now telling his story, and it's not just through like one Fed. It's going through multiple platforms.
Oh yeah, and the thing about it is his story. It has the same tone, but it's a different story. It's not the same. He has a story for every opponent he has. There's a little story he has behind it. So it seems like he has a.
You're not trying to grab through the camera here and pull people in.
Right.
You're not doing your job. You need to captivate. That's a big thing in this promo world. The biggest one I use is replay value. I can watch anybody's promo. Would I want to watch it again? Would you go to bed or would you get up in the morning and be like, damn, that was a great ass promo? Dude, I gotta stuff like that. This is wild. It's things like that.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people that's doing that now. There's a lot of people that I mean, it's getting cinematic. And that's the thing. A lot of people I noticed, like when I started and I did this edits and stuff, everybody's like, oh, yours edits, oh, blah, blah, blah. But everybody's starting to do it now, and the turning the camera sideways and stuff, because it's all turning cinematic. Everybody needs to.
That's because nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear landscape.
But not only that, you gotta adapt. If you don't adapt, you're gonna be left behind. Like, you got people that got words and stuff, but after 4.5 minutes and you hear somebody talk, sometimes it gets repetitive, even though it's not. And you got to captivate the audience with the little cinema. You can't just like sometimes when I used to judge, I watched it and then I heard it. You see what I'm saying?
I would that the 3.5 minute promo is the new 6 minute promo. A lot of people are trying to go to that shorter 3.5 minute style promo. They don't want to go longer because of the repetitiveness. I mean, but you look at the FTW title. What type of time limit is that? 6 minutes. And that's very hard. Franklin Benjamin, I'll tell you, he mastered that, in my opinion.
I tell you, man, and it's hard. I've done it. And it's hard. I mean, honestly, it's without trying to repeat yourself, it's just insane, because you're gonna eventually say something that you said 2 minutes ago already. It just happens. It just happens because you're basically doing 2 promos in one. Like AP.
This is a book, right? It's okay to write stuff down on it. It's okay to, plan your promo a little bit. Not saying write out the entire script, but maybe you have bullet points, things you want to hit, so that way you've memorized it. If you write it down enough, you will stick in your brain. That's been proven. You can easily say if you write it down 3 times, it will stick in your brain, and then you'll be able to put it out on here. Right.
Now I'll tell you who's good, probably a good candidate for FTW title. Somebody like AEP. I mean, he puts out 11-minute hypes. I mean, I don't know how he does it. And that's another thing too.
I said AEP, but AEP does AEP, and I'm like, I get it. I will watch the full 11-minute hypes. I watch everybody's hypes in HSP. I have to, because I got to know what's going on, what they're trying to portray. And yes, watching AEP's 11 minutes hypes are a little long, but it's still funny to me, and I'm like, damn. The hypes, and everybody goes, I don't want to drop hypes at all. Oh my God, I don't want to give anything away. It's about the show. Hypes are there for pretty much advertisement. You might as well just start going out there going, well, I'm going to kick your ass, and you're not going to kick my ass because I'm the best, and fuck you. And there you go. There's my hype. No, don't do that either.
And that's the thing. People get upset. Like, I got to win. Okay, how many times did you see a person, right, that lost countless times get a title shot? I mean, to me, I think win or losses don't really matter. People got to understand it's the story you take. Are you interesting? Would people want to watch you? That's why you get main event spots. That's why you get on the card, is because people are interested in watching you. Not just, you can't just think you're going to have a W all the time. And you got to get eyes on the screen. If you don't get eyes on the screen by doing hypes, then what do you do it for? That's why I like your platform as well, because there's thousands of people that watch your stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they see it.
That's what makes it great. You're there to entertain, right? You get fans. You get people outside the promo world. I know people are like, people outside the promo world watch this shit? Yes. Believe me, they do. They may not comment. They click on, and some of them stay on and watch. But
Some people would be like, is this real wrestling? Like, some people think this is actually like indie wrestling thing or whatever. But like,
and some people say, hey, I want to become a promo artist. How do I do that?
Exactly. And I've seen people go to my inbox sometimes that I never heard of, like, hey, I watch your stuff. Do you want to try performing here, or you want to do this? I mean, I've had people do it all the time, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm trying to lower it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to lower it, but you
don't go over your threshold. That's big advice there, man. I mean, my average, this is me. I will tell you 3 feds probably best to promo at one time. If you're going over that, either you don't have a life at all, so you're constantly like cutting, the same promo 7 or 8 different times all over for these feds, or, you're going to burn yourself out. That's the big one. You're going to burn yourself out bad. That's why I'm like, make sure you're able to handle the threshold. Some people are able to handle like 7, 8 different feds.
Matty? Oh, sorry.
That's what Matty does. And you even talk to him. He's had the burnout. I mean, he had to depart HSP because he was handling stuff. And I'm like, dude, And no worries, man. He's interested in doing commentary. Like he's done it for SME. He's doing it for EFED After Dark, for EMP, for SWA. You know, he's doing all that plus competing. I get it, man. So when he's ready to come back, you know, I'm sure we'll figure that out. But I mean, he's also competing in that Grand Prix match, so he might get a shot sooner than later.
Right, exactly. And like I said, I understand. You know, I go to I go and try to help him out. You know, at EMP. You know, right now I'm their general manager, and I try to help him out a little bit. You know, and then PDA. You know, because like I said, I want to help Tommy out because in fact, when Tommy, I'm gonna put it forward for when he decided to come back, he was really not sure he wanted to. So I was always there for him, like, yo, this is what you want to do. This is what, you know, you could do it, you know, whatever. And it's gotten really good. I like that he's doing what he's doing and he's bringing it back and he's doing it slowly. You know what I mean?
And he's enjoying it, man. That's what makes it awesome. When you're not enjoying what you do, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, he's got that spark back. He lost it, and then he brought it back. And I think if you're starting to lose your spark, I think, yeah, you should step down a little bit and just, you know, coast a little bit. And hopefully, like I said, maybe me, you, and somebody else ain't getting paid for this right now, but who knows in the future? You know, esports happens. It used to not be, you know, that used to not happen. We might look back later when we're in our 60s and be like, oh shit, they're getting paid for this now? This shit's on ESPN? You know what I mean? So,
by the way, I don't get paid for anything I'm doing on the house calls because, you know, Facebook, and this is what's wild with Facebook if you're trying to become a content creator. Once you hit about 7,000 or 8,000, right? Facebook might say, we're going to expand your viewership out there. But then they're also going to go, we're going to limit your viewership because you posted something from 5 months ago that we didn't like, and we're not even going to show you what it is.
Oh, speaking of that, I'm going to tell you something. I got a notification. I think they said they're going to start erasing live stuff. I got a notification stating that mine was going to be erased in 9 days. That I have to either download it or put it somewhere else. So that might be a little thing that you might want to.
Like you're doing right now, this will be on YouTube, right?
Yeah, this will be on YouTube.
That's where, you know, you got to have your secondary setup. Like we shoot ours live, HSP. It's out there on the House Calls page. I can share it wherever. And it's also on the YouTube channel. So after 30 days, if you need to see the archives, it's there. The whole entire library of the last 4 years, almost.
And that's good. And that's another thing too. But there's so much information, there's so much, you know, and when you go into a match against an artist and you act like I never faced him before, I don't know who he is, go do your homework, go watch some of his. What's so hard about sitting there and watching some film about somebody that did something? You know what I mean? That's, to me, that's laziness.
Oh, you want to know one more thing? Speaking of YouTube, right? Tomorrow, right? This is going to come out. I don't know when this is coming out, but tomorrow, the 31st, will be my 8th year involved in podcasting. 8 years I've been covering professional wrestling, been covering the promo world, and all sorts of stuff in between.
Awesome. And where's this at? Where we can find you, just in case people don't know, just because they don't know.
Yeah, if you want to check out, it's on YouTube. It's under the Dr. Quack House Calls. It's there. You can find HSP shows, my podcasts on there. We've had many different co-hosts, including the important one, Mr. Mayhem, which, by the way, I am glad to have that man back. Let me tell you, that is definitely a breath of fresh air, man. You can also check me out on Facebook as well.
Everybody loves Mr. Mayhem. He's the important one?
Oh, yeah.
So everybody loves him. Now, I got a question. Do you guys live really close that you used to do shows together?
Dude, we've known each other for over 20 years. I mean, me and him were both trained by the Necro Butcher, you know.
Yeah.
He was a couple months before me in 99. But, yeah, we've known each other a long time.
Yeah, the Necro Butcher's he's big in West Virginia. Very big in West Virginia.
He is now, yeah. He was down in Texas when he trained us. He got out of the military, opened a school up, and, yeah, that's how we all met.
That's awesome. Now, you got to do some of them shows, like some of the big shows that you got. You know what I mean? I mean, like you got to be with Mr. Mayhem because that's awesome. I like when you guys do the double commentary. That's pretty cool. You got to bring that back one day.
Oh, we will. We'll be back on Road to the Showcases when we'll be doing that. I know on Grudge it'll just be him because I'm taking a little bit of a break here. Just a little, man, not much.
That's what you always say. But
I don't take too much of a break, man. I just want enough to clear my head, man.
I feel you. But we're reaching up end of a point. Would you like something to say? Maybe plug something, um, plug the show, The Grudge, or whatever. I'm gonna give you the floor.
Well,
The floor
yeah,
is yours.
pretty much. I mean, you've got the Grudge coming out here on April 10th. That'll be a big match, the big main event there. Shady against Mr. Wallace, Pure Heart Championship. Road to the Showcase, that's coming out May 1st. That's where you're going to see a lot of people that are not in HSP that may be able to get into HSP. All you got to do is be the top 5 in there out of this 15 or possibly 16. We'll see with Johnny Blade. But, yep, that we've got Run the Gauntlet 4. That'll be there. That'll be the Gauntlet match. That's where the 5 winners will go. And then, of course, we got Champion Showcase June 26th, June 27th. 6 feds coming together, going to put on a hell of a show. This is something that you do not want to miss.
Yep, and yours truly will be competing. I mean, I guess in at least 3 out of the 4 shows. I don't know, but we'll see what goes on here. But I'll be there myself. But it's been a great interview. I'm glad I got to have time to pick your brain. And I know you can't say too much because, like I said, you got your little observer and stuff.
You'll see. Make sure you tune in for that this week.
All right. Well, this week, what do you know? What day is coming out this week? So we can.
It'll be out Mondays. That's what I'm doing, the individual promo observers. But yeah, the Hope Show will be covering probably either Thursday or Friday. That's what I'm told.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to be great. I can't wait. Wait to see it. Like I said, we always value your opinion. Quack, and like I said, I'll be seeing you in the locker room like I always do, and always stirring the pot. So we'll see what's new and what's coming on. But I do appreciate you coming on the Fine Prince today, and I always value, and I hope you and everybody else has a beautiful rest of your day.